Alright, so I made a pretty poor financial choice, which was only able to happen because of y'all. So I appreciate y'all's support a ton, but I can now answer a question that pretty much no one was asking, but still is a question. How good is 7-star Civil Warrior? Now, in the selector, I have the option of picking a 7-star basic crystal. Now, that is probably a good pick. It might be the better pick overall between the two options, but it really depends, right? Because I would say that 7-star Venom the Duck maybe isn't as good as Civil Warrior. No offense to the Venom the Duck fans out there. I know there are some of y'all, that's still something, right? But Civil Warrior, he is maybe not as good as 30 of the champs in the basic pool, but he can still do some things. So let's just have some fun with him. But first, here he is in all of his glory. Just looks pretty dang fresh, man, with the 7-star border. Civil Warrior has a fantastic design. He is a mix of Captain America and Iron Man because of this whole Civil War event. It's pretty cool stuff, and he is a Gabam original champion. So yeah, pretty nice, man. I like it for sure. And he used to be complete trash. He used to be one of the worst champions in the game pre-buff, but now he's buffed, right? And that made him not the worst champion, which is really important. But now let's see this buff in action. So how do you play Civil Warrior? Well, he does have these armor up buffs, and these armor up buffs convert into fury buffs, and that's how you do your damage. And honestly, once Civil Warrior gets going, he hits pretty dang hard. No joke, he has some pretty nasty medium attacks, and the SB2, if it crits, is pretty dang nuts. So he does have that for sure, but here's the issue that most players have with Civil Warrior. He requires a ton of dashing back and holding block. A lot of that, just so much of it. I think it's every 12 seconds you have to do it, or else you just lose all your damage output, which is not fun at all, right? And like I said, every 12 seconds is very constant for having to dash back and hold block, which is kind of problematic. Some champions have the same mechanic, but the amount of times they have to lock on by dashing back and holding block is way less constant. Falcon, for example, his is once every 20 something seconds, which is a massive difference than once every 12 seconds or so. So overall, it is, a bit stressful for sure. It is pretty stressful, and it does sometimes cause some errors in matchups, but for the most part, if you can manage it, then he's not the most impractical champion out there. And look at that damage, man. 44,000 crit right there. You'll love to see it. He is honestly hitting pretty hard now. 20,000 mediums, and then this combo just ends the fight. So not too shabby, but here's the thing. The damage output is great, but the dashing back really adds to the fight time, so it's actually a 134 fight. And 134 isn't bad at all, but for a champion that's hitting that hard, the dash back and holding block really does hurt the overall time of the matchup, and fight time is important in battlegrounds and whatnot. So yeah, that is a pretty big drawback to the champion. But like I said, when he gets going, he hits so hard. As a 7-star champion at 50 Furies, it is quite crazy not how fast he is, because while he does a ton of damage, he's not the fastest champion out there, but he still does have some pretty great damage per hit. So this is 50 Furies, no synergies or anything, just base Civil Warrior, but this is class advantage as well. So let's see how the damage output is. It's really good, spoiler alert, he hits very hard here. There is a damage cap being hit, which is always a nice sign of a champion's damage output. So yeah, for Everest content, he's honestly not too shabby in the slightest. There are probably better options like Shuri or Lady Deathstrike in the tech class, but it still is a good substitute, I want to say. But okay, it's not like he's a good substitute, because usually substitutes are easier to get, but this man cost quite the amount of dollars, so he's not really a substitute, he's just a luxury champion. And I feel quite luxurious using this Civil Warrior, it just really feels nice, man. It feels really nice to use him, just money well spent. Kidding, of course. This is not this guy is not worth this amount of money. Let me just say that. He is not worth it in the slightest, but he is still a pretty fun champion. And one really big highlight of Civil Warrior is his heal block. His heal block is honestly pretty dang strong. So on heavy hit, he heal blocks for 10 seconds, but here's the thing, it pauses for 6 seconds after a special attack activation. So it's about 16 seconds in total pretty much, which is honestly great. That is fantastic, and it's really easy to maintain as well because it's just a heavy attack hit. It is really easy to get to that because you press a button and it's there. So yeah, he's honestly a fantastic heal block character. So like in Battlegrounds, if there is a regen meta or like a meta that requires a heal block of sorts, he will be a fantastic option for it. Like, not even joking, man. He's going to be great for it because his heal block is super constant and just super easy to access. So I'm a fan of this guy when it comes to heal blocking. Everything else has its drawbacks for sure, but the heal block is something that I will say is really good no matter the case. It's just a really strong ability overall. And check out that damage, man. You'll love to see it. So yeah, Civil Warrior has one really good feature at least. And also he does have some other things, like he is immune to Nullify and Stagger, but funny enough, not Fate Seal either, so that is like, it makes no sense, but sure. It is pretty nice though, like being immune to Buffet and all that. Definitely great for a tech champion who has a ton of buffs. Additionally, he is good at power controlling the opponent. Not like a fantastic power control option, but he can just manage the fight pretty well with the power control. Additionally, he has a ton of buffs. Pretty obvious, right? But yeah, he has a ton of buffs. He has armor ups as well. And he also has some reduction to bleed and poisons. But here's the issue. To have the bleed and poison res, you have to have armor ups. And armor ups are what fuel the damage output. So you can't really have armor ups because you need to consume them for the Fury. So it is a bit annoying to like try to maintain that, but besides that one flaw and the other flaws that he has, which are quite a few, he has a pretty cool kit and he is a pretty fun champion, so there is that. But yeah, this fight was pretty much controlled since the beginning, so he stood no chance at all, and this fight is now wrapped up. Civil Warrior, a great heal block champion, by far his best thing, like no question at all. But yeah, Civil Warrior is a champion in this game. Very, very nice that he is a champion in this game, right? Really cool, really fun animations, really strong damage output as well once he gets going. And the utility isn't really all there besides the heal block. The heal block is really, really good. So this champion, is he worth the money? No, absolutely not. He is not worth the money in the slightest, but he is still a nice addition to my roster. And yeah, that's about it for me.